Explain how fight choreography is done for anybody who's interested in putting their fight choreography together. Also, you can get a little bit of insight into how we do fight choreography, and we'll move on through the weekend advancing. Now, it's called beginning, intermediate, and advanced on the schedule, just because if you come to this one, then you're intermediate, you come to the next one. And you come to that one, you're an intermediate, you come to the advanced one. That's all that means. We're not going to actually be doing too much action, but some of you brought some video cameras, we'll pull you out of the crowd and you'll get a chance to do some stuff and see how it works. Originally I wanted to do something where I could have each one of you who brings a video camera come up and we use the same fight scene structure and show how it changes based on a couple of things that we do with fight choreography, and you can go home and edit that however you want. We'll see if we can get there. We'll see if we can get there. So somebody has a question back there. Huh? But right now, I'll take some questions while I'm waiting for some of my equipment, so I don't end up losing my voice. Yes?
As a martial artist, I'm pretty sure at some point in time, the master is like not being that no one is truly better than the others. But just from personal experience and the ones that you've learned, which one would you say you like enjoy using the most? And the second question, how old are you?
Using the most for fight choreography or like defending myself?
No, like which martial art you actually enjoy doing the most? Because you know a bunch.
You know, it changed. The question he asked me was, he said he was explaining that his master instructor said, you know, no one martial arts is better than the other, and that's pretty much true. Depends on what you need to use in the moment. Protect yourself. In fight choreography, we use it all. In self-defense, you just need a couple of tools here and there to get good at. And he asked me which one was my favorite to actually do. And then the other question is, I'm 38.
You can pass for 32.
I still can't get out of the 30s. Thank you. So, I started off as a wrestler. I wrestled for 7 years competitively. I was part of a state championship team. I was part of a championship wrestling club. I was, you know, fooling around with nothing to do on the street a little too much, so I joined this club, kind of like a boys club, a lot of tough kids off the street, got into wrestling, and that was my grappling experience. From there, I went on and did judo competitively for 2 years. Those were fun, they were great, saved me a lot of times in self-defense situations, but I can't stand rolling around with guys anymore. Nowadays, a lot more women are wrestling, and you know, I know a couple, and I'll end up hanging out with them and wrestling a little bit. You know, I don't mean that the other way, actually. Sometimes that happens too. It's a lot more fun. They smell better. I can hang out, you know, under the armpit of a female a lot longer than I can with a guy. But it takes me a lot more work to get out of some dude's armpit. So. Then I went to Taekwondo. I liked it. I liked staying away from the floor. Full contact Taekwondo for 10 years. When I was a kid, I was a junior Olympic champion and a national champion. And then when I started getting into kickboxing at the Asano Academy in Los Angeles, I started working as an actor in Asano. And it was good timing because I remember the day I got tired of fighting. At that point, I'd been fighting competitively for almost 20 years. And when you're a kickboxer, you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, you run, you hit the bag, the gloves smell like mildew.
Yeah.
And I remember the sun beaming in on my face at 5 o'clock in the morning and some 6-foot guy smashing in my face like this, and me looking up at him and throwing punches back. And I remember thinking, why am I doing this? What am I doing this for? And that was the end of me wanting to prove myself competitively as a fighter. I have nothing against fighters. Fighters are great athletes. I enjoy watching that sport because I was one for a long time. But I had sort of progressed in a different area. Fighting wasn't important. I was as tough as I needed to be, and you don't need to be the toughest man in the world to be a man anymore. Being a man is a lot more than being a guy with brawn. Being a man is the guy who knows he's going to get hurt and still stands up for him or whoever's around him. That's the end. My father was a sergeant first class in Vietnam. He served 12 out of 14 tours of duty. He stayed 4 extra tours of duty to bring my mother and her family over legally so they wouldn't be sent back. He's the gentlest man I know. And all those years that I spent fighting competitively were to prove to him how tough I was because he only saw me fight one fight when I was 8 and I lost. First fight. The funny thing is, on the way home, I was crying. He goes, "What are you crying for? Stop crying. It's not a big deal." And I was only crying. I didn't care that I lost the fight. I was crying because my father's not raised. And then after that, you know, my father had to go away for a long time, and I fought every fight, and I won as many fights as I could for him until I ran into him later and realized he didn't care about that. And that was what changed my life. It was no longer important to be some guy who come to fisticuffs. It was important to be somebody who just stood for something. So there you go. Any other questions? How we doing on the technical stuff, guys? I think I can. You can all hear me pretty clearly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, then we won't wait for the mic. Yeah. We can get pretty hands-on. This is the first time we've done this, and we're going to test it out. So the thing you have to realize about this fight choreography deal is that I don't have any reference for how well you guys are at your skill. I don't have any reference for how well you can contain your excitement and not smash each other in the face. Because good stuntmen, like myself, we hit each other. That's the nature of fight choreography. So we have to be very careful about people actually hurting themselves in here. We'll see. You know, I think the more important thing that will be hands-on in these next 3 panels is giving you guys a camera and letting you see by shooting from whatever angle what works and what doesn't. Then you can go home, smash each other in the face, and it's okay. It looks great on this angle! By the way, if you smash somebody in the face, you can get it from any angle. Don't do that. Okay, we'll start. I'll do one more question before we start. Yes, sir.
So, you hit each other from the neck down, you don't actually blast each other in the face, you stab the camera. Right?
Yes, there's a lot of effects we do to not hit each other in the face. Depending on the angle, sometimes it's just the angle you want. You kind of have to get close. Most of the time, you don't need to get close. You don't need to. Tony Jaa hits his stuntmen. They train to hit each other in the face. Here's a story based on this. I was having some drinks with a couple of stunt guys and fight choreographers in Japan one night. We were out there. These are some of the guys that used to do the action on Power Rangers. This is years later where they knew us in Japan. They came over, had some whiskey. And me and Johnny Bosch are there actually. And they're talking about Tony Jaa. One of them went to go watch what Tony Jaa does to train his stuntmen in his camp. Now, a lot of these action guys like Jackie Chan or Jet Li or Tony Jaa have camps where they train their stuntmen because the stuntmen get to really know each other really well. They get to know the guy they're working with really well. They become a team. And you can make really good action really fast. That's the thing that's hard to do, making good action fast. Because on the set, they want you to move for time. And stuff, it doesn't matter what you're shooting. If you're trying to shoot too fast, you lose quality. So you get a team, you can make great action, you can create it fast, make it complex if you want, whatever. So these guys were saying that they were watching Tony Jaa, and it was a new thing where you can hit the stunt guys. You can hit them. Well, that's good, okay. You can't hit a stunt guy too much because they're a professional athlete nowadays in Hollywood. And they'll work 10, 15 big giant shows. One guy will work on Transformers, then go work on Avatar, then go work on another big show, all in a year. And if you hurt them, they can't do that. And you don't need to hurt them because you can't tell. I'll tell you a story about that. So they go, Dan, how would you feel as an actor if we did that? Would you let some stunt guy hit you in the face? Because they're like, this is brilliant. You can film from any angle. It doesn't matter. We don't have to stack the camera anymore. We can get right in there and see, oh, impact. One of the guys I used to work for used to love his impact shots. He wanted me to kick him in the face one day. It's a hard thing to do. I used to kick people in the face and knock them out all the time. It's still a hard thing to do. Finally, he slammed his head into my boot so he could get the impact shot. It's not good for your head to do that. So they asked me what I thought about it. I said, well, now if I'm going to do a fight scene on day 1 and I get all beat up and bruised up, how am I going to do the love interest scene the next day? Bruises all over my face. Like, guys, come on. No. They're thinking that because I used to be a stunt man, that I'm going to go, yeah, you could smash me in the face. Yeah. No, man. You're not a stunt guy to do that. That's ridiculous. Okay, so that is my thought about that. Some people try to do that. It doesn't last very long, that kind of thing, because you can't break people down and have them come back the next day and work hard. And every single day of production, you've got to get in there and push it 100% to get that thing done. And if you're breaking people down, they're not going to be able to push as hard for you the next day. What was the other thing I was going to say about? For Koichi, I don't know if some of you know who Koichi was. I did a movie for him once, and this is and I was an actor, and it's called Broken Path. And there's a moment when they slam my head gets slammed against the wall, and so I'm like, I'll slam my head against the wall. Let me do it, come on. He's like, okay, so we do this thing, and I'm slamming my head against the wall. I'm like, oh, that's gonna look great. I'm a tough actor. I used to be a stunt guy. This is gonna look great because I'm tough. That's what I'm thinking. He's like, it doesn't look really. No. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm getting myself concussions over here. So I look at the video. Sure enough, I'm slamming my head hard in the wall. It doesn't look like it. I go, okay, let me change it. I fake it completely, sell it. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You go back and you look at it, it looks 10 times more violent. You don't have to really smash somebody or something to make it look violent. That's why it's called theatrics. The real smashing is for the ring. Do we have a mic set up, you guys? You guys are working on it. Okay, we're all right. So how about that board?
I got the pen, get the board right
Cool.
here.
Thanks. Okay, so. Whoops. Listen, this is really important about fight choreography. You get hurt, you get banged up. You're mimicking fighting. You have to come in close contact. There's a lot of timing involved. So when you guys start to put together your own fight choreography, rehearsal is really important. But beyond rehearsal, your skill sets are really important. What I used to do is, of course, I used to practice slamming the bag as hard as I could when I was fighting. But then I would also have sessions where I would hit that bag as fast as I could and make it look as just devastating as possible, and then just touch it. Because that's a skill set you need to have, the ability to make it look like you're coming in really hard and powerful, but have control. The other thing that really helps is all of that stuff we were talking about before, the wrestling, the self-defense kind of stuff. Because sometimes you're working with somebody who's just a little too excited and they're coming at you. You can feel and tell when it's getting a little dangerous. Cover, protect yourself, back off, slow it down. Okay? It's always okay to go slow. It looks fast on camera. In post, we speed it up. Jackie Chan speeds up his choreography. He drops down to 22 frames per second, which makes it look just a little bit faster, a little bit more violent. Sometimes they drop it down a couple of frames per second so that they can slow it down so you can see the detail of the choreography, okay, which is difficult to do at a really fast pace. Not all the time, but you've got to realize that's what's going on. These people are using camera tricks, they're using technology to help it out. You have to, because it's what I just said earlier. You'll be some guy smashing his head up against the wall, giving yourself a concussion for no reason at all. Okay? So sometimes you get hurt, sometimes you get hit. No reason to get upset. Somebody hits you, sometimes that happens. It's fight choreography. And it's okay to take it slow and start to build up the speed of the choreography until you're comfortable with it. So, first thing we should talk about when you're creating choreography is design. Okay? The stage incorporates a character and a story. The character and your story are really, really important. I have two volunteers.
My name is
Brian, Lyle. Zax and Lyle. Give them a hand, you guys. Okay, Lyle, we're starting you. Sir. Actually, why don't you stand right next to each other? This crowd. So, even if you're just going to experiment with creating fight choreography, this is what I used to do before I ended up getting a chance to work with one of Jackie Chan's choreographers. Me and a buddy would look at films that we liked, go out and recreate them shot for shot. It teaches you how they did it. Or we just create fight scenes and film them. But the important thing to remember is, even if we don't have a story, right now we don't have a story about these guys at all. But when you're approaching choreographing, you have to bring story to it, okay? And so if you've got a story written, you've got to figure out how to put that into choreography. Otherwise, all of us are going to look at it and just go, looks like a bunch of guys flipping and kicking.
Like old movies.
Okay, but you can put a piece of choreography together that's just used with John Wayne choreography, as we call it, where guys just throwing punches, but you make it very interesting. People will watch and care about these characters. Now here's a case in point that I'm talking about. These two guys standing next to each other, just visually, the way they're standing, they look like they might be waiting in line for something.
It's a convention, that happens.
They look like they could be buddies. They look like they might most likely strike up a conversation, right? Right? If we do this, we'll stand up. And stop and face each other. Suddenly they look like something's going on here.
Old writers.
Okay? All we've done is figure out visually how to create that story. Now, you're not looking at two guys who are just standing in line. You're looking at something that looks like it's going to go down. Okay? Now, check this out. I like the way you're standing. Stand, but just give me a little side turn. Give me a little turn towards the audience. But 3/4. Like that. Just kind of relax. You are like this. We should be like this. Come on, give it to me. Give it to me. It's fine. It's good.
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to look serious.
No. What we've done now is interject some character into this visual image, right? And this character can come from what you've written, or you can create it on the spot. This is what makes stuff fun. There are guys that you can go onto the internet. There's these guys that do this stuff with airsoft guns.
Yeah, Johnny Wong.
Those guys are fun to watch because they put a lot of character into what they're doing, right? I saw this one where they do this dance where this girl shows up and some guy with a bigger gun shows up and she goes off instead. It's really fun. The CGI is not 100% the best, but you'll watch it because it's really fun because it's about the characters of the story. Don't forget that when you're putting together choreography. Look at that when you're watching a fight scene and you go, man, this is boring versus one that you really like. See how much story is involved. That's more important than anything. When I used to work for one of Jackie Chan's choreographers, he'd come in and the first thing he would say to me was, okay, what's going on with the character? What does he want?
He wants his money back. Well, you told me to make it up.
that was more rhetorical, but that's all right. But looking at this image here, we get, this guy must be badass or something. He's just calm and relaxed and collected. This guy is heaving about something. He's angry about something. Okay? So that's really important when you're thinking about just setting up your image, introducing your character. You guys
Where's my money, man? Where's my money? Every time you ducking me.
Look, nothing's happened yet, and just the improv from these guys is entertaining you. Okay? That's the next step. There might be some lines that you incorporate into your fight choreography that are important to make just a part of the choreography as the fight stuff itself. You guys can have a seat right now. Thank you guys for coming out here. So, what's the story about? Is it about revenge? You know, they want what he has, he wants what they have, she's trying to escape, etc. My favorite is they want what he has. Jackie Chan does that a lot, where he's got some objects he's trying to hold on to, and somebody's after him, and he's running around, and he's falling and grabbing it, and it makes it really interesting. Okay? He's tired. You gotta make sure that when you put your choreography together, that it's interesting because you incorporate the story. So you gotta give them obstacles, right? How much you guys come up? So now stand apart. All the way over. Look at what distance does too. And what I'm trying to show you is that if you set this up with the camera, this really comes across super good. Now just stand like this. You really thirsty? And there's this right here.
Oh God.
That automatically introduces an obstacle. There's two guys and one bottle of water, and not a lot of it either. You automatically understand this guy is thirsty, and that guy is thirsty, and you don't know who's going to win, but you're interested in seeing who gets that bottle of water. You've introduced an obstacle, you've introduced a story point. He has what I want. I want that. Okay? You guys can have some. It's really important for you guys to realize how much you're laughing at just those little things like that. Because that's what makes the story, that's what makes you invested in the choreography. Then no matter what we choreograph, it's going to be fun to watch, right? So, when I would do fight choreography for Jackie Chan's choreography, we come up with some really great stuff, and then eventually we'd have to cut it all out because you go, you know what? It's not what the character's trying to do. So you cut it out. You don't lose it. Maybe you bring it back. It's just sort of on the back. But we're always trying to make sure that the audience is interested in where that character's going. Okay. Just checking my notes here. So when I choreograph, I like to choreograph in beats. 3 beats, just like a 3-act play or a 3-act script. First beat is the introduction, what you just saw, setup, what's going to happen, how's it going to start, how's the fight going to begin. Second beat is the progression or regression of the character's goal. Either your hero is winning, right, or your hero is losing, right? The third beat is something happens between the first and the third beat to spin it in a different direction. So your hero is winning, and you're like, oh, he's going to beat him. Boom, something happens. The guy pulls out a giant elephant gun. Slam! He's down on his back. Now you're going, oh, this is unexpected. Or the hero's losing, and this is my favorite way to choreograph. The hero's losing, and he does something smart. He or she does something smart. My favorite heroes are the guys that use their brains to figure it out. They don't know. And they come back and they win, okay? That's just a structure. It's a good structure to follow. It's not the structure you always have to follow, though, because you can just, in your story point, the hero might be supposed to be losing and get captured. So you start from the beginning, the introduction and everything. You have the hero go through what it is they're supposed to go through. Then they lose. And we're expecting them to come back, and they don't. Okay? Then the hero's caught. Move into whatever portion of the script of the story where how's the hero going to escape? Reveal the choreography again now. Act 1, 2, 3. Okay? So for the first beat, who has a camera? We don't have a monitor that we can use.
He does.
I wish we had a monitor so I could show you guys some stuff.
What do you need?
We don't have a camera that's hooked up to a monitor, do we?
You probably got
Well, no, so I can show all of you what shots look like.
We can have that for part 2 tomorrow. We can have that for part 2 tomorrow.
Okay, so let's do this for now. Let's have our 2 guys back up. So we got that bottle of water.
Share.
Now we'll talk about a little bit of camera stuff because your camera is very important to your choreography. There's a lot of stuff we do to cheat choreography. I'm going to take these guys through some simple choreography for you. And maybe we'll switch it out and try to make this a little more interactive for everybody. So not everybody's here to get a little down and dirty. Without smashing each other in the face. So you got these guys that are thirsty, right? You might start something off with this. You might have something like this. The guy's hot, right? You see it. Yeah, very good idea. Sweat coming off the eye. You see that he's hot. He's intense. He wants something. This guy, we might do frame the shot a little different. He's got his tongue hanging out of his mouth, panting like a dog. Whatever. You can make it comedic. You can make it intense. Seriously, you might use something like all of a sudden we cut back to this guy, maybe different lower angle, and we see that he's got a different posture on, or we do something with the camera, where we pull the camera way back, and we see what he's looking at, right? We don't even see the bottom, right? We're just introducing the characters. So we see him looking at something, we pull way back, down to a low perspective, and we see a bottom. That's what he's looking at. And you realize, holy shit, there's a bottom. Right? We don't have to do the same thing for him. We know the story now. We cut back to him, maybe see his face, see that he looks down at the bottle, cut to the wide shot, which is what you guys are looking at. Now we set up some dramatic tension. Okay, so now whatever we do, can you do a forward roll?
Yes.
Without hurting yourself?
Yes.
You want to take that off your neck? You guys can take those badges off.
Are you sure?
So now we're going to set the tone for what kind of choreography this is, right? That's also part of your design. Is this serious? Is this anime style? Right? We've already set it up kind of anime style. What happens next will start to determine the tone. You guys got to be aware of that. You can't have a guy like do a big old giant flip, and then he lands here, and all of a sudden it's just a duke him out dealio, right? You kind of want to be aware of your style and your direction. So what happens if, and action. Now you're expecting something interesting, right?
Barrel roll.
Now there are things we could do about this, right? Like if we wanted him to dive a little bit, that would be cool. It'd be kind of strange if all of a sudden we saw him dive. Next thing you know, we see him roll, and he's right there next to the bottle of water. That gives him a little bit more of a supernatural characteristic. If we changed it and just had, if we change the style and do something like this, action. We expect to see these guys hit head on. Neither one is better than the other. I've actually done one like this. I'll be this guy, you be that guy. Very slowly, in slow motion run. I've done one, an action. I've done one where these two guys are running after something, and you're like, you see shots of him running. Remember, building the story up. This is very simple choreography, but we're building the story in your anticipation just by what we're capturing. So we see this guy running. Look at this guy, he's running. And we're running. You see the wide shot, and you're like, what's going to happen? I mean, what can happen? In your mind, what can possibly happen? If they're both going to the bottle, they're going to slam each other in the head, right?
Pretty much.
So we can do all kinds of stuff now to make it interesting for you. What if this guy slides, and he's sliding towards the bottom, this guy dives, and he goes over, and you're expecting something interesting to happen, or, and this is what I did, and I liked it, these guys run, they jump, and they slam each other in the head, boom, and they land. The bottle of water's still there.
I like Jackie Chan.
Kind of, sort of.
Just whole thing of being an underdog, so.
It's very important to recognize that how you've decided what you're going to show is what makes the choreography good, okay? Not just the moves. Okay. Let me just stay with beat one. How are we doing?
It's 5:15. Or 5:10.
Let's come on in real quick and do something like this. Let's talk about reactions for a second. And we'll start bringing you guys up and seeing, so you guys can feel it. The thing about reactions is you have to be careful because you're winging your head around, right? So we actually train taking reactions, stretching our neck out, taking reactions, so that you can do these for take after take without developing a headache, and you will get a headache anyway, okay? It's very, very demanding on the body. But let's just talk about reactions. So I want you to take this hand. There are a lot of people that teach all kinds of ways. You want to learn how to movie punch? Come take my seminar. We teach like this, and then we take a step over here so you can see it coming. And you always look back at it so you see it coming. And then you have come from this angle and go up and come from here. That's baloney. There's no way to do this. There's only if it looks real. And you got to see it. You got to see what's coming. You got to see it go and make contact. You got to see his reaction, and you can do it straight from here, or you can do it from out. Okay. So, for right now, we'll show basic John Wayne right hook. Okay. I'm going to show how it works in perspective for you guys, because we're still talking about making this work from camera stuff. We're going to slowly start developing into something interesting. Take this hand. Here's his face. That's the plane you want your hand to move on. Just from here. Yep. Move it right across. Okay, when that happens, you're going to take the reaction. Okay? And action. Good. Try it again. Ready? And action. See, the sound effect adds a little something to it. It's important. Sometimes the reaction adds something to it too. Watch this. And action. Action. Okay, but right now it's missing. It's killing you guys. It's missing. So what we do is we're stacking perspective here. Let's have you stand in front now. Let's have you stand facing each other. So now on action, throw the punch. And action. Looks a lot better from straight on, of course. Okay, but you've got to. You can't shoot the camera at the back of this guy's head, right? Or even like this. You've got to unstack it a little bit. Okay? Now, because you've got to unstack it a little bit, now some of you people have already seen this on this end, but I'm going to show them. Because you've got to unstack it a little bit, come and stand right here. Good. Now, I'm going to try to show this for each line in perspective. People on this row right here are going to see this from the correct perspective. Here, this is why you'll hear guys tell you, you got to bring your punch way back here. This is how you do a movie punch, which is bull, but for this perspective, it's important because right now you can see that it looks like a miss from this angle for the audience. But when I come way out here and come across, it looks like a hit. Ready? Take the reaction. That's what I'm going to shoot. Stand here. Step way across here, and then punch and come to the side. Ready? Make sure it reads. And action. Better. It's a little low right now. He's not trained enough to know that he's got to go a little higher. Take your fist and just go a little bit higher. Right here. Now here's something that's very important to realize. If you're shooting a low angle shot with your camera, and he does his punch, and everything is right, his punch might read high because of the perspective. So sometimes, as a stuntman, I've got to throw my punch below his chin just to get it to read correctly. And the same goes for when you're shooting from the top down. Try that punch again. Ready? And action. Good. That was much better from my perspective, but probably for a lot of you. Let's try. Come on over here with these guys. Stand here. And you stand up. Not too far. Good. And action. Any better for some of you guys? Even read pretty good for some of you guys over here. The reason that's a more interesting shot is because, why don't you guys come back on that? Is because you can see the puncher's face. You can see the intensity. A lot of times we like to make that the actor. We like to see that the actor's doing something because actors bring something to the character. They make that punch look vicious or not. And so does the stuntman. When you're doing fight choreography, you have to have some acting props. Right? You got to be able to act a little bit. Right? So you saw already that just in setting this up, if I wanted to make that guy a stunt guy, he's got to be somebody that when you look at him, it makes you feel like, man, this guy's been standing out here all day. All I want is just a drop of that water. Take a drop of that guy's blood if I have to. You have to act as much as you have to be able to do your action. Okay? So that goes into the reaction. Let's have you do it. When he does this punch, now the reason I'm just standing like this is so that the read's good for you guys, so you can really get a sense of what I'm showing you. When he does this punch, I want you to really throw a really hard and wild punch. Go ahead, and action. Yeah, just like that. So this is a really big guy, right? In comparison to me. And if I'm standing here like this, and he throws his punch, and it looks like he's throwing it as hard and as fast as he can. Ready? And action. And I just take a reaction like that. It takes all of the heat off of his action. It dampens his action. Okay? Now, let's do the opposite. So what I want you to do is I want you to do this.
Better have my money.
Just exactly just like that. Ready? And action.
You ain't getting that part.
We can tell a story here. Okay? That's what you should do. When you guys start choreographing stuff, if you're interested in doing it, tell a story, make it fun. It's okay if it's dumb. You'll learn to make it better if you're going to start playing around with some of this stuff. You guys go. And that's what's important to remember, is to tell a story. I wrote a script that I had a producer want to produce, and we were talking about the character, and he didn't know what I was talking about. There were a good 10 minutes of what I was saying about the character. And I asked him if he'd read that scene. He said, I don't even remember that scene. He didn't read the fight scenes. And producers will do that from the older school. They won't read the fight scenes because it's just fight stuff to them. They think that the story happens, fight, story happens. But I write the story into the fight scene because that's what makes the fight scene interesting. That was what I was taught to do by Jackie Chan's guys. That's why their fights are so interesting. Yeah, they got a lot of going on, right? Yeah, they take 3 months to shoot that stuff. Yeah, they got hundreds of camera angles. But when you think about any of those fight scenes that you see of anything in your favorite fight scene, the things that you remember are the character moments. That's what makes the difference between good and bad choreography. Bad choreography, you can have guys flipping the fly all over the place. And it's still bad choreography, even though you got very talented guys. Matrix, what happened? G.I. Joe.
Ooh.
Yes. CGI all over the place. You know, I gotta tell you, I liked the last Transformers, the action. They're flying through the air. There's no like amazing choreography going on. Those guys could probably be on green screen. They're just flying through the air. They got stuff shooting at them, stuff coming down on top of them. And you're wondering how many of those guys are gonna die before one of them? Because you know some of them's gotta make it, right?
Yeah.
You got otherwise a story, but you're going, well, how many guys are gonna die? And that still makes it interesting, you know? Because you're going, I don't know who that guy is. Is he gonna die? That guy makes it. Oh, that guy made it. Okay? And it's because they do the same thing. And so there's an example of a movie that doesn't use a lot of fight choreography with people, it does with robots. They set up the story really well. I think Michael Bay does that pretty well. Okay, so beats. 3 beats. We talked about them. We talked about setting up stuff, camera angles. Let me see. Let's take you guys through some basic stuff. Maybe this is what it's 5:23. We started at 4:30, right? We're supposed to be done at 6. Is that what's going on? When are we supposed to be done? 6. 6. Okay. Who wants to participate in some stuff? Okay. What's going on? Let me show you guys also by having these people come up. Everybody who raised their hand, come on over here. Line up. Line up in one line.
I guess
Line up all, yeah, everybody line up just in this line.
I'm sorry. Thank you. You're not going to walk apart much.
So let's have you guys try to figure out the bag. You have to curl around a little bit. When you're choreographing, you're designing choreography, sometimes this happens. Sometimes you got a producer that goes, I want this actor to do all this stuff, and the actor can't do anything. So what we usually do is we go, I better find a stunt double. But when the actor can do stuff, it's great. We try to have them do as much as they can. We try to have the actors do as much as they can because it's good to see their face. Because what? They're making the choreography better because they're acting it, right? And then sometimes, and this is important to remember, sometimes you can't push somebody outside their bounds right then and there. You can push them through training. For example, I've been through a lot of training, but I can't ask you guys to do foot kicks as part of your choreography. I've got to work with what I got. And also, it's important to look at the difference in people's statures. That can change the choreography. So let's, just so we get a little, let's have you guys come up. You guys are working on this one. This is practice. So I'm going to show you guys basic choreography 101 movement. You're going to punch in, okay? You're going to take the reaction, but you have to look back so you can see where the next reaction is coming from, okay? So you punch, you look back, you take the next reaction, look back, take the next reaction, and then one more time, wham, okay? So we'll do 4 times. Notice I'm not getting close. I don't need to. I'm just going to set it up with the camera. So you can be this far away right now. Some of these people will see misses and some of you will see hits, okay? I'll stop it if from my angle it's a miss, and I'll explain what's going on. So you guys understand what I'm seeing. And you got 4 beats, right? You don't need to choreograph longer than 4 or 5, or 3 or 4 at a time, actually. Here's an example. Just watch me move on this guy. Just throw your punch out. You don't have to react.
Okay, Jimmy.
That's a lot. Okay. That's a lot for him to remember to react to, right? But if I take that whole piece of choreography that I just did, and I do it like this in 3s, go, when I come in, I go, react, react, react. Okay? Then, so we're just 1, 2, 3. Good. Then, 1, 2, bang! And then I'm going to come in, and then just go, watch the beats. Watch how the beat changes up because I add the pause in it. And he has time to remember and think about what the hell I'm going to do next. Ready? And action. Probably about 10 moves that he picked up in less than 30 seconds. Because we're very careful about how the brain works, right? We don't make him try to remember too many pieces at once. Break it up into sets. It's okay, because when you're watching it as an audience member, it allows us to get character moments. It allows us to get time to see and set and think about what just happened before the next thing continues, okay? You don't have to do that. Maybe you want this thing where this guy's just overwhelming this guy, man. And there's all kinds of stuff going on. And then just slap me. Okay, maybe you want to set up something like that, but this guy's actually really tough. So he's just taking a lot. And you want me to not have too many beats. It's style. It's aesthetics. It's what you prefer. It's up to you to set up. But it's easy to keep it in groups of 3 and 4. Okay? So, let's do that with everybody here. You guys.
Can I make it shorter?
Thank you. You guys are even in size, so it's not going to just do it by action. Okay, ready? It's just going to be 1, 2, 3. Since you got people filming it, and from that angle, okay? So these angles will miss, these angles will hit. And stay about that far apart. And action. Yeah, you're going to do the 4 punches together.
Oh.
Ready?
Oh, sorry.
And action. Nice. Okay, you did a straight punch at the end. Do it again.
My bad.
And action. No, I like the straight punch. Keep the straight punch.
Oh, okay.
You're going to get any chances to also see how I work when I choreograph. And action. Good. Okay. Something didn't match on that last move.
It didn't line
He's
up.
right. His face didn't match.
It didn't line up.
He did the, stay where you are. He did a straight punch. He did a straight punch. And everybody from this angle will see. Do it and just leave it there. That was good. Boom. Okay, ready? And action. No, start. It's good. He's doing a natural thing, which is really good. He's keeping it under control. He's not coming at me 100%. Which, when something like that happens, it's a mistake. I don't have to walk away with a flat nose. Okay, so on action, do that move. Ready? And action. Oh! Doesn't work. Okay? All right? This one works a little bit more. And action. Oh! But something doesn't match. So here's the action that matches. And action. Oh! Okay? So what we're talking about is trajectory of the hit. It doesn't matter what body part it is. There's no special technique. You guys can create whatever you want in terms of a hit. All you have to remember is trajectory. If I go straight into the sky, he reacts straight back. You see my hand pass through, which it's still going straight. You still need to see him, and from this angle, you guys will see the hit. From this angle, you'll especially see the hit. Actually, from here, you see the hit. Just turn your head that way. Boom. Looks like a hit, okay? I can make it look light by not going all the way through, or if I go all the way through, I would expect his reaction to match, unless you're trying to make him, like we showed earlier, a tougher character. Trajectory, if I go this way, he's going to take his reaction that way. If I come from upwards to down, it would match the angle. This is good. It was from up to down, and he went down, but he didn't match the angle, which was this one. Match the angle and trajectory, and it doesn't matter what you decide to throw, it will look like a hit. You're going to see a technique from here to here. It's supposed to happen. Very good reaction. You didn't have to fall. Please don't fall. It was good. Okay? And so it doesn't matter what I do. If I spin through the air, then kick, he reacts. It matches the trajectory. You can hide stuff that way too. Okay, you guys have a seat. Let's have the next two. Okay, let's have you guys just do the basic, and then we'll start changing it up. Stand here, stand up at this angle. Notice how I position these guys at an angle. Okay, we don't have very static, boring-looking shots. We're just looking like this, or shots, just like this. Okay, sometimes you will. You need one of these shots. Those are going to be good for the master. And we'll get into in the intermediate section talking about what the difference is between shooting a master and a mini master with a close up, and how they can make it much more difficult for you to finish your day or finish your day. But usually an angle is nice. It helps hide that and stack that, disrupts technique you hit. It gives us perspective. It gives us something in the foreground, something in the background. This is composition we're talking about. Okay? So come on over here. Come on over here. You're just gonna do. You're gonna do a right, a left, a right, a left. Just forward, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. And I want you guys to pay attention to how they react, because your eye can pick up whether or not you believe it or not. And we'll fix it and make it look believable, okay? And you can see how that's done. And action. Good reactions. The punches over here, the trajectory didn't match, right? So he's reacting well. Right. The punches dropping. Straight over here. Just bring it across. Okay. So you look at the shoulders. You bring it straight across his shoulders. Okay. Match his shoulders, and the punch will look better. Okay. And you people will see the difference over here on this end. Ready? And action. Nope. Nope. Not like this. Yep. That's okay. Now what's important is he doesn't quite have a lot of punching technique down, but even if he's doing this and it reads as a hit, Your body moves inside. And action. Better. 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 Okay, very good. Get your hand. I want you guys to watch something. He was arm punching. Okay? So we're not quite binding. In red, like I did, sound effects help. It's important to remember that. Sound effects help a lot. 50%. They bring up the quality 50%. I'm going to teach them a little something that's important. When you do this punch, instead of coming through, just like this, turn your hips all the way around behind you, and turn back and turn your hips. Okay, let's just see that. That's right. Straight across, turn your hips. You should be able to see a portion of the crowd. Ready? And action. Looks a lot better. Looks a lot better. Okay, so it's not just the move with the hands and the feet, it's the body positioning, the wind up, the body follow through. Okay? Let's have you two guys. Sorry.
Why aren't you using it? They escalate that. That's all right.
This has to do, you guys make sure you're stretching over there. It won't be enough. Stretch a little bit, okay? We got some really big guys in here, so let's have you still on this side. You want to do this side. I want you to start off. I want you to start off. Okay, just that. Just touch it. Okay, so this is important, what I'm about to show you guys. I'm going to have this guy actually make contact with the body. The body is something different. You guys are nice and big, so we can make a little contact with the body. Middle ends. Okay. When you hit the body, sometimes you can't have an open hand. Hands right here. So you got to give it a little. See, that's what I was talking about with all that bag work that I practice, not hitting the bag hard. Watch this. It's not really hurt. See what you reacted? Okay, you kind of back a bit. That's all right. But you see, being able to get a lot of power and touch without really hurting this guy. Some guys like to open the hand a little bit. You can hear that. You're going to have a little red mark. It's okay. So stomach acting is hard. Everybody's used to going, oh, ah, oh, right? But here, it's about in. When I punch you in the stomach, and this is how I used to do it on set with the stunt guys, not the actors. I used to go, wham, and actually hit the guy a little bit. And he'd go, that's the reaction. Basically, if I just push on him, which way does he go? He goes down, right? If I just, even if I'm just here and I push on him, it kind of goes down. Don't go backwards. Go backwards. So that's how you know it's the right reaction. Same thing when coming in this angle, see how your body pushes, and then this angle. Good. So you go next. So react very slowly. 2. That's better. 3. A little bit. Okay. 1, 2, 3. It's like doing crunches. 1, 2, 3. 1. Stop. That's better. Good. Now we're getting something that looks a little bit more real. It takes practice. Okay. You got to practice. It's like I don't know how many of you spend any time dancing or doing anything physical, but it takes time. It takes time getting your body to look like what it's supposed to look like. If you know and dancing like this. And you think that's good? You might be performing in front of the wrong audience or with the wrong friends. Right? It's not bad. There's no such thing as bad. It's just not as good as somebody who can move. So you have to be very, very straightforward with yourself and honest. You look yourself in the mirror. And that's why it's good to look at footage that you, from films and stuff that you like. So you go, no, I'm not quite moving like that guy. I didn't do okay, so body acting. I don't expect you to get it right out. And it goes for all kinds of things. Kicks to the leg. When I come in and I drop a kick to the leg, not quite the way she reacts. That's okay. Do this. Turn your knee, just like that. Ready? And action. There you go, that's a little bit better. Okay, so if I come in like this and he turns his leg, it looks like he's going to go down a little bit better. All right, let's have you do this. This will show you guys a little bit of character. Stand like this. When you do this, I just want you to do this. Just like we do. Just count 10. Just count 10. Don't do anything. I'll just count 10 punches. Ready? And action. I don't believe that guy's hitting him. What the hell is that? Don't move. So now, this is important. No arm acting. Even you guys right on this line. You guys can't see it. Yeah, you guys can't see it. You guys can't see what he's doing, but watch. You will be able to see on this next one. You guys can see that. You guys, something's going on. What's that? Okay? And action. Don't react. Just sit there and take it. And keep your hands out like this. See what I'm doing here is I'm creating the picture. We recognize this image of somebody who's standing there taking something. And action. Okay, now these people don't believe it. That's good. Glad you're into it. But it didn't matter because these people don't believe it. Now I want you to touch a little bit. After you do this, open up your hands a little bit. Just touch. Okay? And action. Okay, stop. This is what he's doing, so you guys can see, come on here. He's good. He's starting to get, you see how long it takes to start to develop the character? For you guys over here, he was doing this. He was doing this, but I had him open his hands a little so he could hit, but this is what it looked like.
That was intense laugh.
This is what happens in fight choreography, and it happens with very good stuntmen. Sometimes they're worried about hitting or hurting the other person. And, you know, these are supposed to be professionals. We see a lot of this. I want you to duck my punch. Ready? And action. Good. That's a good duck. See how I went right over his back? You kind of believe that I'm coming right at him. There's a way to do that without hurting him. I don't put my fist right in his head. So I might hit him if he's too slow. I go in really deep and hard and fast, so if I hit him, it's my bicep. I'm not going to knock him out, right? But because I'm deep, hard, and fast with this fist, and action. It looks like I swung it hard at him, okay? There's a little trick I can use there too. As he ducks, and I know he's safe, I can pick up the speed and sell it. It's the acting. It's very important. This is what you see stunt guys do, professional stunt guys. And action. And action. So you really have to think about how to make it safe for you and him. So sometimes what happens is what he did is doing this, but I don't believe it. So I want you to make it look more like a punch. Just touch it. Now what these guys are going through right now is they're both going through a little bit of elevated stress where he's going, I don't know this guy. I trust this guy, supposedly he's a professional, but this guy hit me in the stomach. That food didn't sit right last night. right now. Okay, try it. And action. A little bit better, but it's still hard through your hips. Ready? And action.
Treat it like you're boxing. Treat it like you're boxing.
Shoulder in. Pound, 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 pound. Ready?
Like excited.
Yep, and action. Pound, 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 pound. Little bit better, but we're seeing something in the wrist. So you guys are seeing that it takes a little bit of know-how, some martial art experience to turn this on a little bit better. It's not bad. And then afterwards, nice big swath when you react. Ready? And just from there, don't move on. Action. That's it. Okay, so you see that I keep it safe right now. I keep these guys smart. Sometimes we have to bring it in when the camera's going to be a little bit more parallel. I'm sorry, perpendicular. Thank you guys very much. And next two after you, too. Come on up. Let's start bringing everybody through, just having them practice a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, first pair line up like this.
Sorry about that.
Second pair line up over here. Okay, you're going to do crunches. 1, 2, 3. Here's something interesting. You guys are sitting down. This guy's taller. It's going to be hard for me to make this guy punch so that you guys believe it, because just the angle of his punch doesn't quite work, right? So he's got to kind of come up high. Okay, he does that by raising his elbow, not his hands. But you don't believe that. You believe this with his hand, because now it looks like he's got some body behind his punch. Okay, so we've got to bring him in a little bit closer too for you to believe that, because you don't believe that he's going to do that, even if it angles right. Just perspective-wise, you don't believe that that's really a punch that's hitting from here. Okay? So you gotta bring it in. Okay, so this requires a little bit more trust between these two guys. Here. Don't come closer. Just you gotta really use your body through so you believe that. Okay? So practice that very slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure he can see you before you put the next punch. So you make eye contact with him. That's pretty good. Okay, you guys, this is going on. Keep practicing, you guys. I'm going to add the sound effects. And action! Whoops. Bad Foley. Really bad Foley. Do it again. And action. Wait. Just be like, this little pick. Give him a little character, just a little bit. Even if it's not Shakespeare, just a little bit helps. Just a little bit helps. Ready? And action. And he did something right. He took it down. These guys actually worked with one another. That has to go on too. That's why you guys want a lot of rehearsal when you do fight choreography, because you want the two people to work together. You want them to start timing off each other, and some improv can happen there. It's safe. Good, you guys have a seat. All right, what am I doing here? I'm trying to do different than everybody. Okay, so you're gonna punch. Good question. Let's take a look. Sometimes we don't know. We gotta take a look. Just throw it normal. And action. Good. 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 You're going a little too high above his head. And on the last two, I want you to go down. Let's change it up on this. Down. Okay, so sometimes you can't just turn your body. Right. Lead with your chin and let the body fly a little bit. Relax. Try it. Ready? And action. That was a little. Hey, that's good. No, it's all right. you.
I used to hit people, I get hit. Sorry. Just saying.
After about a half bottle of whiskey, I can say. So turn your head first. Just try that. Ready? And action. That was a little bit better. Let's see it again. Ready? And action. That's better. That's better. So you can wait for them.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So you see what's going on here?
Timing is so off, yeah.
You see right here is they have to sort of figure each other out, get the timing down. That's the first phase of fight choreography. Whenever you do fight choreography, we take our time, keep it slow. That's why I was talking about keeping it slow. Time, figure each other out. This guy moves a little bit differently. His time. He likes to take the punch a little bit later. Some people like to take it a little bit earlier. It's okay. It's good. Okay, he's gonna go right, straight across, left, straight across. He's gonna go down. I just want to take a minute.
Okay.
Ready? And action. And down. And that's good. Good job. Okay, we'll just move through these so that these guys can participate in it. I like this. I like this guy's done here. He's done something a little bit that's kind of funny. Or it doesn't have to be funny. Ready? Punch me. Ugh! Oh, my nose, man. He's doing that. That's good. It was an instinct, and he did it once. Action. And he did it again. Action. And again. Action. And now you're going, oh, I don't know if his nose hurts or if he's got as big as nose this morning. And he's more worried about that. It must be something poking him in there. More worried about that than the guy punching him in the face. Punch slices. Do this. You're waiting for him to look at you and then hit him again. As soon as he looks at you, hit him again. Just take it. Ready? And action. Good. Now, let's add a little bit more character to this. Can you act like you're a little bit shocked that somebody hit you in the face? He goes, he's my brother. It's not shocking at all. That's funny. And action. Come on, take some time to recover. Yeah, there you go. It's a little bit better. Good. So we saw a little bit of instance of character in there. Very good, guys. What are we going to do here?
Yeah, what are you gonna do? She needs to beat him up.
We'll do something a little bit different. I'm going to show you guys something that's pretty cool. Usually when I'm training actors, this is kind of what I teach them first. Remember I said earlier, you know how to protect yourself. But it also, knowing a little bit of how to protect yourself and training yourself that way makes the choreography easier to learn. So I'm going to show her something and we're going to go right into it really fast and you'll see that it looks like she's... Do you take martial arts? A little bit. All right, but she's not an expert. Okay, so I want you to do 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2. Good, ready, and 1, 2. Just push my hands. 1, push my hands. 1, 2. Good, use your arms there. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Bangs forearms a little bit. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. That's part of fight choreography. If somebody gets hurt or something, it's always this is what happens. Once you do 1, 2, 1, 2, and then you do that. Never stop. Right there on top of it. It's okay. Ready? And watch this. And 1, 2, oh! See, we take a piece of that dialogue and put it in. That's right, make your own sandwich. And action!
That's right, make your own sandwich.
That was fun. That was fun to be in, fun to do, fun to say, fun to hear, fun to watch. That wasn't no crazy off-the-wall action. That's how important story is in choreography, okay? So now sometimes this happens. Sometimes we're doing it, ready, action, and we're doing the same thing. And action, you get him in the face. And action, and I wasn't ready for it, so I just just back off. And then she knows if she messed up. She goes, "You okay? It's okay. What's up? Would you mind making me a sandwich?" Okay, so what I'm trying to show you right now is how simple choreography, when you add character and what my boss used to call acting, he always used to grab me and go, "Dan, go fix the acting. Bad acting, bad acting." Yes, boss, you just let go of my arm. You might want to take your watch off. So when you get better, you can have stuff like wardrobe on, and you're aware of it. When you're first playing around with it, that stuff dings you good. That's the stuff that gets you, not the actual back. So you're facing, we do the same thing. We're just gonna do 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I want you guys to pay attention to tempo this time. 1, 2, 1, 2. Good. Then you're gonna do 3 and 4. Just stick your hands out. 3, 4, 3, 4. So we do 1, 2, 3, up. See why I went slow? We messed up. So ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now 5 and 6 are very easy. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 5, 6 are the exact same as 1, 2, but don't swing it out like that. So ready? 1, 2, 5 and 6 are going to be the same except lower. 5, 6. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in there, just higher. 7, 8. Okay, here we go. Watch this. Watch the tempo. It's important. Do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's how you want to do your rehearsals. Bring the tempo up slowly. A lot of repetition. Bring the tempo up slowly. And now this guy looks like Fifth Dawn Black Belt. Or the Red Ranger.
Thunder!
What else can I teach?
Thunder!
Your timing is horrible.
Joy box. Jiu-jitsu. Throwing. So, there's some cool stuff. I've got a web series coming out next year. It's called Divergence. We've got the first 6 episodes going through post. We'll be ready next year. And when I get done at this convention, I go back to finish episodes 7 through 10. There's some cool choreography in there. It's a little bit different. We do some jiu-jitsu, but we've got to make it interesting, right? And at the same time, realistic enough that you guys understand what's going on. So, I'm going to show you guys some stuff about jiu-jitsu. There's a few real blocks. Right? These are all real jiu-jitsu blocks. And there's all stuff you guys can do. Right here. Okay. But it's not always necessary, depending on your shot angle. I want you to Ready? Watch this. And hey, get out of here. Action. What's that? Okay, so it doesn't have to be real. That's a real lock. It just depends on how well you apply it. And usually we don't really apply these locks to each other. You can feel this go down, and he feels that. That's why he's doing it. Just when you use jiu-jitsu locks, you have to be careful that you don't actually break these joints. And we do a lot of faking. I just want to talk about. So we're going to make her look like a jiu-jitsu master. Jiu-jitsu master?
Yes.
Oh. But in order to do this, I now have to bear the brunt of the acting. It's very important. She does too. She has to make it look like she's putting it on. You're going to do the same thing. I'm not going to grab it. This.
Okay.
Then, once you've done this, then I want you to turn this over. This is not necessarily real. Standing over. Stand. Okay. Yeah. I bounced for 2 years before I really started working a lot. You're not going to go up to a big guy and go, "Come here, guy. I don't like what you're getting. I walk out right now." It doesn't work like that, especially a guy my size. You're not going to manipulate somebody like that. Okay? Just realize that it can happen. Just for example, the move I used to use all the time was, it used to be like this. Oh, let's have you. It always used to be like this. Oh, you're not as tall as the guys. Okay, like, I don't know what happened. It's okay. I always try to be a nice guy because look how big this guy is. I don't know what happened, sir, but why don't you step outside while I talk?
Look at black, huh?
It didn't matter how big we were. This was the move and all the guys. Something would happen. I'd say, we can walk outside like gentlemen, or I can drag you out by your neck and be very embarrassed.
I wish it would.
Followed by a right punch usually would happen. They raise it, and then we just eat here. It takes a lot. It took 10 years of wrestling just to do that simple move. Just be aware of that when you guys do this stuff, so that you don't get together and do fight choreography, get all excited, or you take some martial art class and you think you're going to have to deal with some big giant guy who's got a problem because you think he's black and because he thinks you think he's black, and then you try to manipulate his wrist, and he's going, "What are you doing?" So, and when I choreograph, I always do that. I always make sure to take time to explain it. Real stuff. So what we're going to do is you can take your wrist.
So, okay. Okay.
Now, I want you guys to watch for body posture. Ready? And okay. Ready? And we got that. And then she moves to the next one. And she's putting the thing on. Look at how bent over she is and not really in control.
Okay. Okay.
And action. Put it down. That's good. That's fine right there. Just turn it down.
Oh, turn it down.
Oh, it looks like she's doing a thumb move on. That's really tall. Really tall. And shove this hand down. Oh, Oh, yes, okay, I promise. All right, all right. I'll take you out. It's okay. Sometimes when you're doing choreography, people are trying to make the move work. And remember, you're manipulating somebody. So you make it look like you're manipulating somebody when you're finding the move. So, here's something that's very interesting to pay attention to too. Sometimes we do stuff like this. We don't try to do it too much. Where you guys have seen this a lot. Turn and just do that. And action. Just like that. Ready? And hey there, pretty girl, what's going on? Whoa! Gorgeous. That's why she threw me. Have a seat. Thank you. What's this? This is important. We're almost done, guys. We're almost done. How many on time?
We're running a little over.
Oh, we're about 6 minutes over. Okay, I'll see if I can do this really fast then. Watch this now. You step. Throw. But now instead of doing it like that, it doesn't matter what side she does. If we know what the reaction is going to be, we can make up anything we want. You can already start to see how that's starting to work. She can use her left hand, just her left hand, and action, and it's going to work. She can use her right hand. She can use both hands. Okay, and I don't know why, I just get a kick out of this. I think it's fun. And action! Oh boy, I'm running out of material. That's how all four of you come out. You guys have a chance to do something. Beat down. So you guys get a chance to practice. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's okay. And 1, 2, 3, 4. You got a little clapping going on for you. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Very natural. What she does that some of the guys didn't do, some of the guys are like this. And you're like, that's just fake. She's moving her head really well. She's relaxing really well. And what I can do with that is just like what I was showing you with the punches, I would work with her to slowly start making her movements bigger. Until all of a sudden she's twisting. Twist about her head. Thank you guys very much. And, well, let's have you come up here too. Let's have you do this real quick. Ready? Just to give you guys a little something. They were waiting in line the longest. Ready? Just give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8! I didn't even teach him. He's got it. Choreography is simple. You can make it complex by adding moves that people can get down quickly. You want to get complex with the choreography when you got 2 people that work with each other well and understand it very well too. But you don't always have to, because that can literally be badass. Let's see how 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm blocking! I'm blocking! Oh! Catch my hand. Crush it. Okay, ready? So remember character stuff. Ready and action. Oh! Okay, man. Okay, let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, go this way. 1. It doesn't matter. See how he started off the other way? Watch this. Go the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. See, he's just doing whatever he wants. Anything he wants can happen. And look, it looks kind of like we've got this choreography going on here. Okay. Slow. Slow. Try it. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now you don't have to bang as hard. It's okay. See, this is something that naturally happens. Sometimes people get into it and they're like, and you won't walk away with bruised arms. Take it easy, ready? Very light touch. Very light touch. Now, I want you guys to watch something, and this is important. This is what happened between Dan Inosanto and Steven Seagal. Okay. They had these sticks and they were doing this fight, and do the same thing, ready? 1, 2, 3. We're not really hitting. Okay, so give it a little oomph. Ready? And ready? 1, 2, and you stop hard. 1, 2, 3. You see how she's just kind of throwing her arms out there, and you can start to see the semblance of something that looks like it might start working. A little bit of tweaking, and we don't even actually have to hit. And we can add sound effects in there. We can add the sounds of 2 sticks hitting as our forearms are hitting. You're going, what are their forearms made out of? Think about that when you guys are designing your choreography. Thank you very much for coming.